So joining us now for the official Birmingham website, we've got Graham Drury. And Graham, last night's match, Lakeside Hammers 48, Birmingham Brummies 42, so only getting the 1 point from it, but it's always a tricky track to go to, Lakeside.
It is indeed. I mean, our first aim obviously was to go there and win the match, and we were confident that we could do that. But having said that, to come away from Lakeside with 1 point is far, far better than what we've ever done since we was elevated to the Elite League. It has been one of our bogey tracks, and to go there and score and to get that 1 point, was very gratifying, particularly, and I'm sure all the supporters have, read into it, just the fact that, Chris Harris had a really bad night last night. So I think to go to a track like Lakeside, when your number one only scores 3 points, I think that was a very good amicable result.
We touched there on Bomber scoring 2+1. Did you know any reasons why that was the case? Did he have any mechanical problems or anything, or did he just have a bit of a bad night?
No, he didn't. Well, it is one of his bogey tracks, and he has told me that in the past. And he had the setup sorted that he used at Wolverhampton in the British final, but it just didn't work for him. And he did have a few setup problems, but at least. The good thing about it, if one could say that, is that, he has rectified what the problems was. He knows what they were, and he's assured me that they'll all be in place ready for the big one on Wednesday.
That sounds good. Jason Doyle, he weighed in with 11 points. A good show from Jason.
Well, at the minute, wherever Jason's going, he's putting on a good show for us. He was ever so pleased that, that he could ride for us at Lakeside rather than Somerset would it in the Friday. And Jason, has said to me he's never enjoyed himself so much in any Elite League clubs that he's ridden for. And he went there expecting to score a load of points, and in fact, that's what he proved last night.
And as the lone Aussie in our sort of team this year, it's good that he feels welcome and happy and stuff, because we're used to having quite a lot of Aussies in the team at Birmingham.
We are indeed. And Jason said to me the team spirit that we've got at Birmingham is second to none, and he's made feel welcomed from present practice day onwards. And I did say to him prior to the start of the season that I was really looking forward to working with him, because I've seen what he's done for other clubs. He's a very hard professional rider, and I think the form that he's showing for us, his full potential is being shown this year at Birmingham in the Elite League.
Danny King, he weighed in with 7+1, so the skipper there, not probably scoring as many in his own eyes as he'd want to, but certainly weighing in with a decent amount of points there.
Yeah, solid. I spoke to Danny, and he said he thought he could have scored some more points, but it was a solid performance for him, and a captain's performance. But he was disappointed himself with his return, but he did what was expected of him.
Now, coming on to a couple of riders now who perhaps haven't done as well as in their own hearts they'd have liked to have done this year, full stop. And they both had spectacular starts to the season last year, and that's Josh Hawty and Ben Barker, who scored 2+1 and 5.
Well, Ben's struggling mechanically, and I know that Ben has taken strides in the last week or so to sort out his backup team better than what it was at the start of the season. So he is, getting things together. I think the problem with Ben at the minute that, all his commitments with Ipswich and Birmingham, maybe the setup hasn't been like it should have been, but I know that he has taken measures in that, and I'm very confident that, he'll soon start going like the Ben Barker that we know. With Josh Hawty, it's difficult for Josh to come, he started last year at reserve and had most of the season at reserve, and it's hard for a young rider like Josh to come into the main body of the team. But, I told him, when you look at his averages and everything that he's achieved this year, he's doing his job. We can't ask any more than that. And he's on a big learning curve in the Elite League.
Yep, certainly is. Martin Smolinski, 12+1, including a fall in one of his races. So Martin, again now, true to his form that he's been in all season.
Well, he's the most improved rider in the Elite League, isn't he? I mean, I think it's fair to say I'd have got very good odds before the start of the season that if I'd have said, the middle of May, Martin Smolinski was top of the Elite League averages. The lad is, he is so full of confidence that, he says to me when he goes to the line, he knows he's going to win the race, and there's no substitute for out-and-out confidence, and Martin is oozing with it. And obviously when the new green sheets come out in June, Martin will be then going into the main body of the team. And in many respects, I think that, Phil and I have got a lot of permutations then, because, almost certainly Josh will go down to reserve, which will be a big shot in the arm for Josh. So, it's looking well for the future for us.
And a big matchup coming between Martin, which, as you say, you wouldn't have probably even suggested at the start of the season, and Ty Woffenden this coming Wednesday, and there's no reason why Martin can't beat him.
None whatsoever. No, absolutely not. As I say, I think them two riders you just mentioned, if you talk to either of them, it's this over again confidence. They're full of it, and, when was the last time that the number one, like a Grand Prix rider, Ty Woffenden, would be going to a track and we're saying one of our reserves are quite capable of beating him? Remarkable.
It is truly remarkable. Finally, Nico Cavati, he scored 3+1 last night. And I think personally for myself, I was expecting perhaps a bit more from Nico this year. He's rode solidly and he scored his average and stuff, but we saw some spectacular races and stuff from him last year, and I think he's perhaps not quite dialed in. I was expecting him to come back from his racing in the winter so enthused and on the pace straight away, and it hasn't quite worked out that way for him as yet.
No, but the reason I think for that, excuse me, I think the reason for that maybe is that he's not. You see, with Nico, he's only riding in the. Start again. The thing with Nico, he's only riding in the elite league, and because we're so far behind with the fixtures, Nico's going a fortnight without meetings, and I think he needs a lot more races under his belt. And once we get this quiet period out of the way, I think then, we'll see the true Nicholas Cavati. But, I think really it's the first time last night he's been to Lakeside, and when he saw the track, he did scratch his head a little bit. But again, with Nico, these tracks are new tracks to him. You get the setup and everything, and I have every confidence that Nico Cavati at the end of the season will look back fondly and increase his average quite considerably.
And overall for yourself, Graham, just to finish off, happy with the way that the team's sort of coming together this year and how the results are going for us?
Very much so, absolutely. I mean, I'm very happy with the way things are going. I'm enjoying life in the hot seats at Birmingham Speedway, camaraderie, the team spirit that we've got there. We're in a very, very strong position to reach the playoffs at the end of the season. I'm very confident we will. We just need to keep away from them injuries. And we're exactly where we would, want to be this time of the season.
Well, speaking to Alan Phillips last week, he was saying that obviously he'd given himself a target of the playoffs last year. He is aiming to win the Elite League this year, and I'm sure you're very much of the same thoughts. Oh,
absolutely. We're in it to win it. And I do believe that we have got a team that's capable of winning the Elite League this year. The league table's sort of starting to pan out a little bit now, but we're at the time of the season now where the promoters that maybe got it wrong in the winter will be making sweeping changes, and we'll have to sit back and see the changes that these other clubs are making, what effect that will have on the league table. But at the minute, very, very pleased with the progress we've made this year.